All right, so with Coffee Cat's promotion here, let's gen up a character because hey, maybe we'll make a tiefling tonight. Mostly on Saturdays. Well then, we know what we're doing tomorrow, huh? We're gonna roll a percentile to figure out if we have a female, male, or multi-class character. You feel like a hoe, jeez. No, you're fine, Coffee. Look, for you and others, if you have talent and you want to showcase it, please do so. Also, don't be afraid to come over here to the talent market. And if you take commissions, if you have artwork or crafts or sewing or sculpting or something to sell, put a link here to your Etsy store, to your DeviantArt, to your eBay shop, to a personal website of some kind. Please do so. Pardon, hiccup. Hey, Megmags, there you are. Megmags, Dark Wolf wanted to ask you a question. All right, so we're gonna roll the percentile and find out. Megmags, you came in right at the beginning of character creation. If that's the case, Kraken, then what you've done is you didn't purchase drawing or... Oh no, I thought you were talking about Coffee Cat or something. I'm like, well then you didn't purchase a drawing, you purchased performance art from Coffee Cat. But no, if you're talking about the Tiefling bartender, yeah, maybe he's sharking people. Yeah, we're actually, Meg, we were just talking about your spider raccoon earlier. I had it up on display here on the channel. And Dark Wolf wanted to talk to you about that, actually. 91. Hey! You know what that is? 91 means that we have a multi-classed character. This is a character that is going to have two different classes, and we're going to pineapple pen them together. And you're going to get to see how you do that in D&D. Okay, now I'm going to roll the percentile again. Oh, and Tracy, you just multi-classed your Wizard with Warlock. Yeah. We're going to roll this again to find out if we have a male or female character. 44, right on the cusp of female. And now we're going to roll a d10 to determine which race. A 1. All right, we have a female dwarf. And which kind of dwarf are we generating? Odds, a mountain dwarf. $2 copper piece alcohol for 20 copper. Well, because, hey, you're buying the performance, right? You're buying the service. There you go, Meg Mags. You have some fan art coming from your concept. Female mountain dwarf. And let's figure out her alignment. We're going to roll 2 percentiles for that. 99 and 67. Wow. Another neutral evil character. That makes 2, right? Neutral evil, neutral good, neutral good, neutral evil. So far, this is a balanced party, huh? In its own sense. Neutral evil. Okay. That means if we roll cleric or paladin, that we'll have the option of going with the death domain or the oathbreaker style paladin. Cake Boss, hey, good to see you. Speaking of people who've contributed art, Cake Boss has loaded up some drawings as well, including that commando that you made. Was it like a lizard man, or did you have another name for it, Cake Boss? Well, Meg, yeah, if you want to come up with a name for the species, so it's not just called a spider raccoon, or a raccoon spider, yeah. Work with the community. Throw ideas out there. What level are we going to generate her at? 52. Oh, she's level 12. Okay. That means... Okay, this is where multiclassing gets a bit of a hiccup, okay? When you advance a class, every class except fighter, because they get some bonus ones, okay? Every class but fighter gets a stat bump at level 4, 8, 12, etc. That is based on the class, not the character level. That means that if, I don't know, let's say that she is a bard sorcerer, okay? If she goes 10 levels of bard and 2 levels of sorcerer, she is only going to get 2 stat bumps because she hit 4 and 8 as, what was the first one I said? Bard. She hit 4 and 8 as a bard. So while her character level is 12, that doesn't matter for your stat bumps. It's your class level. And that is potentially part of the trade-off for multiclassing. Not that you can't weave them to get 4 and 4, or, you know, if we wanted to go 8 and 4, so if she turns out to be a sorcerer bard or whatever, or a bard sorcerer, you know, if we go 8 levels of sorcerer and 4 levels of bard, she's still going to get her 3 stat bumps as level 12, because sorcerer 4, sorcerer 8, bard 4. So hopefully that makes sense to you. If you're new to D&D and you're like, well, how do I fuse classes together? This is something for us to consider. Oh, you've been playing that character, Cake Boss. Okay. A Spycoon? And Atatanuk? An Atatanuk. That's a fun one, too. So, of the 3 potential stat bumps that she is going to get, let's find out how many are going to be replaced by feats. We're going to roll a percentile for that. 91. Okay. She is not getting any pure ability score increases. All 3 of her bumps are going to be feats. So, Cookie, you're going to be in for a good practical application. Oh, there you go. All right. If you all can whisper Megmags the Fox names for what to call a raccoon spider species. That's right. This is Cookie's fetish. What is her background? Let's roll a 13-sided die and find out. 4. An entertainer, which could also mean gladiator as an alternative. But for right now, we're going to put in entertainer. I'm going to leave what type of entertainer blank until we get to that section in the PHB. And I'll explain why in a little bit. Kundum. For spiders are doom. We're going to come down here and we're going to give her 2 personality traits on a D8. 8 and 3. And then we're going to roll 3d6 to apply to her ideal, bond, and flaw. 1, 6, and 2, respectively. Okay, we have our placeholders. We have our placeholders in place. What do those mean right now? Don't worry about it. We'll get to it. We just need to know with what we're working first. Now, it comes time to determine her class, or classes. I'm going to roll the D12 twice. The first is going to be her more dominant class, and the second is going to be kind of her subclass, okay? So here we go. 12. So she's a wizard who's also a druid. Who else had the suggestion of Ugly Raccoon? Can you give me the name again? I think that was Bubonic one. I successfully ran the one-shot you helped me flesh out. The players had a blast. Yes! Yes! That is awesome, Cake Boss. I'm so glad that they had a good time and that you had a good time with it as well. You can discuss it over here for sure, 100%. But if you want to write up a summary of how it went, Cake Boss, please drop that in Tales from the Tabletop so that everyone can read it and go along the adventure with how you presented it. Cookie, slightly off topic, but have you ever looked at Final Fantasy D20? There is actually a... So there is a Final Fantasy 14 5th edition compendium that was made by fans, and I'll post the link up here in chat for you. This has all of the jobs available as D&D classes. Now, I cannot attest to if they're balanced or how things work, but if you like the flair of it, then you can get into it and have fun yourself. I did play a Final Fantasy 11 D&D game for a while as well. It was because I played Final Fantasy 11. Oh, nostalgia. All right, everyone, can you go to Megmags the Fox's straw poll, and all right, so she is a wizard druid. This is going to be interesting. This now means that we get to choose a specialty for her wizard, right? She's as a multi-class character, you still get your archetypes. And for sake of keeping it simple, I think we're going to make her like a wizard level 8 and a druid level 4 so that we can give her those feats. And we can showcase how that works and weaves. Otherwise, if we wanted to do a 6 and 6, yeah, we could do that too. And we can discuss that as an alternative. All right, we're going to roll a D8 for the wizard school. 2. Conjuration. Now, for Druid, there are 2 types of Druids in the player's handbook. One that focuses on casting spells, and the other that focuses on shape-shifting. I'm just going to roll odds or evens and on the same D8 here, and we'll go with what comes up. Evens. Circle of the Moon. So we have a shape-shifting focus Conjuration wizard. Yep, there you go. Lock in the name of Meg Mags's monster creation, a spider raccoon. Yep, Santas. We rolled a multi-class character who is level 12, and we just determined that she's a Conjuration wizard and Circle of the Moon druid. As a mountain dwarf, even. Like, you want to talk about a non-optimized character? This is a great example of how you can have fun playing a non-optimized character. Yep, Moon Druid and a Conjuration Wizard, Bobicus. Alrighty. Mountain Dwarfs. Let's build her physically, okay? Mountain Dwarfs start at 4 foot tall, and we're going to add 2d4 inches to her height. 7. So she is 4 feet, 7 inches tall. We're going to take that same 7 and multiply it by 2d6 and add that to her base weight of 130 pounds. 3. So we're adding 21 pounds. She is 151 pounds. Well, at least if she's not turned into a bear or something. And now, her age. We're going to roll a percentile to find out where in her life cycle she is. The straw poll, Megmags was... Megmags, a couple streams ago, made a concept for a raccoon spider. And Fox wanted to know what should it be called. Atatanuk. There we go. We've just created the Atatanuk. 55. Alright, so she is an adult. That's column 3 here. And we cross-reference dwarves with column 3. She's between 100 and 150 years old, or 101 and 150. So we're going to generate a 50-sided die and roll it to determine her age. And we got the full 50. Okay, so she is an adult at 150 years old. All right. We have now developed her random numbers. We don't need any more placeholders, and now we're going to go to the player's handbook to consult how to build her based on what we've rolled. Okay. Minimize this. Let's go to chapter 4. Her background won't matter as much as for a multi-class character. You know, it's still one background. Now, interestingly enough, as you can see, she is an entertainer, and or if we want to go gladiator, that's the case. And think about that. Again, completely randomly. Here's someone who's an entertainer. Can a conjuration wizard who can also shapeshift into animals be a good entertainer? Okay, here we go. Now, the reason I left this blank up here, you know, what kind of entertainer? A good entertainer is versatile, spicing up every performance with a variety of different routines. Choose 1 to 3 routines or roll on the table below to define your expertise as an entertainer. Yeah, Fluffy, really fun at kids' parties. She's a one-woman show. I'm going to make a 3-sided die, and we're going to figure out, aside from her magic, what are some other talents that she has? We rolled 3. So now I'm going to roll 3d10, and we're going to find out what she's good at doing. Sounds like a charlatan, so we've actually secretly made our 3rd charlatan, Santa. 5, 3, and 3. All right, well, let's roll one more d10 and hopefully not get a repeated number. 1. 5, 3, and 1. Which means she juggles, she eats fire, and she's an actor. Yeah, Megmags, if you want to solicit the chat for that, you're welcome to do so. Should I see if she takes Conjure Woodland Beings? Then there are lots of possibilities, yeah. So she juggles, she eats fire, and she's an actor. Yep, a fire eater. You know, she puts the torch in her mouth and then blows fire. Oh, and it looks like... Yeah, someone else want to throw a... does someone else want to throw another animal out there? Because Megmax is kind of kit-bashing animals together. So fluffy. Although, how about this, Megmags? Why don't you combine a porcupine with a sheep? What kind of material would you get off of those creatures? In French, it's more fire spitter, which is way less cool. Yeah, I guess they spit fire, but doesn't fire eating, to be a fire eater, sound a lot more dramatic? A mutton pine, says Gidlock. Hey, thank you very much, Rogue Infinity. Lend me your power. Okay. Feature by popular demand. This means that you have some fame because of who you are, and you can generate money or shelter or food or favors by performing. Rogue, it's an excellent night so far. We have a really compelling, like a really neat character on deck that we're building. All right, let's explore her person. And by the way, remember, she's neutral evil. All right, what's her personality like? 8 and 3. Santa, they were a part of the file as I acquired it. Personality trait 8. I change my mood or my mind as quickly as I change key in a song. And number 3, I'm a hopeless romantic, always searching for that special someone. Would any of you date this character? Would you date a neutral evil female mountain dwarf conjuration wizard / moon circle druid? Every day would be an adventure. Mood change, shape change. Yep, there you go, Santa. Cookie thinks she's cute. Since she's an actor, she only pretends to be fun at kids' parties for a while, but wait until she starts using the fire spitting. Sounds like a fiery Gemini dwarf lady. I'm not familiar with the term Gemini dwarf. Her ideal is 1. Beauty. When I perform, I make the world better than it was. Her bond is number 6. I would do anything for the other members of my old troupe. And you know what? If she's evil, that means she's selfish. Maybe she would. What happened to her old troupe, right? This prompts a question, a question. What happened to her old troupe? Was she exiled? Were they killed? Was there an accident? You know, did the circus tent burn and fall down on them? What if she's out for revenge? And maybe it wasn't even murder. What if someone like, I don't know, a rival actor troupe or circus put her old one out of business, and she took it upon herself to use her talents to get revenge for breaking up her old troupe? Isn't it amazing what this one sentence has just done to the character? And not just the character, but the world in which she lives. Role-playing! Yes, Bobicus, she would have full slots because wizards and druids are both full spellcasters. Yep, we'll get there, Bobicus and Bubonic. We got to finish up her background first. That's the low-hanging fruit. And her flaw is number 2. I'm a sucker for a pretty face. Oh, there you go, Cookie. You just got to bat your eyelashes and smile, and maybe she'll, I don't know, give you a bear hug as a bear. And she'll conjure little, like, sprites or fairies to dance around in this romantic moment. The bond is in... Yeah, isn't it Santa's bleh? And isn't that a good combo, too? A hopeless romantic and a sucker for a pretty face. Confirmed, Cookie. Confirmed. All right. It sounds like, based on her personality and what we're thinking, that we would prefer her... Thank you, Cake Boss. Thank you very much for sharing the narration of your one-shot. It sounds like she might make for a better entertainer, per se, than a gladiator. Some characters, you know... And when I say gladiator, yeah, you could be like a fighting gladiator. But think of it also kind of like professional wrestling, right? They're athletes. They do get hurt. They do athletic stunts, but they put on a show as they're performing their athletic, you know, tumbles and everything like that. So a gladiator isn't just like a slave fighting in the pits for, you know, everyone else to see. A gladiator in this case is also a showman. Or a gladiator could be, if you've ever been to, oh shoot, what's that restaurant? It's called Medieval Times, and it's like an indoor arena, and you sit down. They serve like a turkey leg and a jar of beer or some other stuff, like you eat like you're in olden days. And while you're eating, people in armor and swords and whatever come out and they'll joust and they'll have a melee and other things like that while you're there eating. That would also fit the definition of a gladiator. Like, you're fighting for other people's entertainment and amusement. Cake boss. For right now, Megmags, because we're sticking to the core rulebook, I'll say no, but maybe that's something that we can do at a future point in time. Or, Megmags, if you want to take the concept of an Atatanuk to the workshop, you might find people there who are willing to help you turn it into a playable 5th edition race. Trapped in bear form, caught in a roaming circus, used to fight crazy animals. Bobicus Moon Druid is usually very reclusive. Wizards are often very academic. How does she find time to be an entertainer at the same time? Was she an entertainer first or later? Well, those are very good questions, Bobicus. Yeah, maybe something happened where she was trapped in her bear form. We could come up with some very interesting backstory for her. Bobicus and Santa bring up some cool ideas to consider. So Darkwolf sees that she was an entertainer first, and then maybe that's what led her to dabble in wizardry and eventually become a druid. That could be. Maybe she did conjure some woodland beings, and one of them was like, hey, I know some secrets, and kind of went on to go teach her druidic stuff. C'est possible. All right. Are you ready? Well, we're going to do the mountain dwarf first. I hope it wasn't too much of a tease. This is the easier stuff to do. I mean, it's happening naturally anyway as we build our character. But dwarf traits: your constitution increases by 2. Medium-sized, your speed is 25 feet, giving her a 12 climb and a 12 swim, unless she shapeshifts. She does get 60 feet of dark vision by virtue of being a dwarf. And she has resistance versus poison, as well as advantage on save versus poisons, and on resistance to poison damage. Yep. Hey, you caught it. Look, I took 4 years of French in high school. I don't remember a lot of it. But, look. Il fait chaud aujourd'hui. Dwarven combat training. You have proficiency with the battle axe, hand axe, throwing hammer, and war hammer. Tool proficiency. Yeah. It says throwing hammer. It would be a light hammer in the simple weapons section. Very hot indeed. Don't worry. I took 4 years of German in high school. I can barely say I like potatoes. Je t'aime, pomme de terre. You gain proficiency with the artisan's tools of your choice. Smith's tools, brewer's supplies, or mason's tools. Do any of those resound with how you conceptualize our character? Oh, mais oui, Santas Bleu. Je parle un peu de français. She's also going to receive Stone Cunning. Whenever you make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you are considered proficient in the history skill and add double your proficiency bonus to the check instead of your normal proficiency bonus. She gets drunk after every show and does it herself. Brewers definitely. Hey, Flat Hat. Good to see ya. All right, so tools, brewers, supplies. And that might come in handy since she's a wizard, right, in concocting various potions. Or as a druid by, like mixing nectars and other juices. Got to get the audience in the mood. She keeps a cask at all times. Languages. Common, Dwarven. As a mountain dwarf, now... we're going to skip over this. We increase our strength score by 2. And we have proficiency with light and medium armor. Now, that is going to be a bit redundant because druids also get that. So, I mean, I'm still going to put light and medium. But what what this could mean. Actually, you know what? A druid, I'm sorry, druid is her second class. She would probably not get that as a druid. So what this would mean, as wizards do not get armor proficiencies, this would mean as a wizard, she can wear light or medium armor. Brewers makes drinks to share with lovers. Ah, cheers. Salute. There's a cultural taboo against using against using metal, at least in armor. Though technically the PHB doesn't forbid druids from doing it. Oh, it does give those as proficiencies lethality? Okay. And for any of you wondering, we're gonna get there in a second. Just hold on. Okay, so congratulations. She's a dwarf. And isn't this interesting? She is definitely not optimized as a character for being a dwarf, a wizard, or a druid. Bobicus, I will frown at you super hard if you wear metal as a druid in my game, though. An extra grumpy scowl. Okay. It is now time to build our multi-class character. How do you go about that? Tell you what, let's build her wizard component first. We're going to build an 8th level wizard. So, just as you've seen us build characters before, she's going to get all this. She is a dwarf. That's true. Maybe dwarven druids are more earth and they accept metal and stone and all this other stuff. Class features. Wizards are a D6 hit die class. And as she's level 8, she's going to get 8d6 hit die. No armor proficiencies. And she's going to get a host of weapons. I'm going to put these here because it's going to be a lot easier to sort through everything she's proficient at using. Because druids have their own thing going on, too. Oh, unless they don't get those proficiencies. Still, it's best to keep things separate because we don't want to confuse things. All right, her saving throws, intelligence, and wisdom. So up here, you see that we fill in the diamonds next to where it says saving throw for each of the abilities. Only the armor. Flat Hat never got that. Surely killing an animal for its skin would be more anti-druid. Well, not necessarily, because you're using the animal to protect you, you're respecting its life, etc. Whereas with the metal, you dug into the ground, you upset nature's, if the metal was meant to be harvested, it would be exposed on a rock face kind of a thing. Mercy killing Saris. Hey, it's good to see you again, too. All right, no tool proficiencies, intelligence and wisdom save. And now we get to choose two skills. Oh, shoot. I got so excited we're making a multi-class character. Hold up 1 second. Her background also gave her a couple proficiencies. Uno momento, por favor. Her skill proficiencies from being an entertainer are acrobatics and performance. As well, she gets proficiencies with a disguise kit and a musical instrument of some kind. If you all have an idea of which instrument she'd be good at playing, hey, throw it over in chat. Equipment, she will get that instrument. She will also get the favor of an admirer, which they suggest, a love letter, a lock of hair, a trinket, a perfume scarf, something along those lines. I don't know. Look, you go to concerts nowadays and people throw their underwear at you. If you want, we can make this gift from an admirer a trinket out of the player's handbook. That would be very interesting, I think. So maybe the favor is trinket number something. We'll see what it is. Oh, the bang, 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 that kind of a thing, flat hat. Saris thinks a lyre or bagpipes. My druid wears armor made of bear hide and fur, but she in fact was raised by wolves, so the bear was killed by the pack. She has minor conjuration. She probably conjures her instrument. Ooh, that's yeah, Bobicus, that's a very interesting point to bring up too. So then we just got to give her we just need to give her a proficiency with an instrument of some kind. Uno momento, no mas. Let's see. She eats fire, so she's probably like... She's probably really good. She has thunder lips. If any of you weren't here for the beginning when we were doing a bit of a warm-up, thunder lips was a thing. Drums of some sort, very earthy, very dwarfy. Then maybe what we can do, because the mouth harp is metal that she can put in her mouth and use. Earthy and dwarfy. So maybe we can give her the proficiency in the mouth harp. And then we can give her something like minor illusion as a cantrip, where she can simulate up to 3 other musical instruments. And so therefore, while she can physically play the mouth harp, she can also have her own backup of drums, a bagpipe, and a lyre. Give her a metallic flute so she can shock enemies that come too close. Alright, she also gets a costume. What kind of a costume would she wear? What would she dress up as in her performance? Remember, she can shape change as a druid. She can conjure things as a wizard. And her three best aspects of an entertainer are fire eating, juggling, and acting. She gets a costume and a belt pouch containing 15 gold. Okay, now let's go back. Sorry about that. Now let's go back to Wizard. I shall take the silence as acceptance, says Kraken. If you try making this terrifying... No, please do so, Kraken. Sorry if I skipped over it here. I'm kind of looking back and forth. what we do here in the channel, this is open for your all's creative interpretations. If you want to draw, if you want to stat out a character, if you want to make a map, if you want to take an idea and run it in your own tabletop, please do so. That's the entire point of who we are and what we do. Dragon, or Darkwolf thinks that she dresses up like a dragon. Hey, Sans Fire. So let's see. If she eats, or, you know, like, if she eats fire as part of this, and she has a dragon costume, there are 3 dragons that have fire breath. Red, gold, and bronze, I believe it is. Brass. I'm sorry, brass dragons. So what we'll do is I will roll a D3, and we'll determine if she has a gold, fire, or brass dragon costume to accent her fire breathing. Ready? 1. She has a red dragon costume. And you know what's interesting? We have a gold dragonborn, though everyone calls her Red. Kind of like the Red from Shawshank. You know, it's his Irish heritage. Wouldn't that be interesting, right? Oh, you think a Djinn costume, flat hat? That would be interesting as well. Alright, we get to choose 2 skills from Arcana, History, Insight, Investigation, Medicine, and Religion. Let's look at her personality. I change my mood or my mind as quickly as I change key in a song. I'm a hopeless romantic, always searching for that special someone. When I perform, I make the world a better place than it was. I would do anything for the other members of my old troupe. And I'm a sucker for a pretty face. So what about her... Here, I'll transcribe this. So those that's the list of skills that we get to choose by virtue of her being a wizard. Which 2 seemingly resound to you? Which 2 would she be proficient in, given her personality, who she is, what she's, you know, what she's becoming? Medicine? Well, hey, you know what? If you're juggling, if you're fire breathing or fire eating, it would help to, I guess, know medicine so you could treat yourself, huh? Insight so she can read people. That's true. If you want to gauge how how the crowd reacted, right? Her ideal is to make the world a better place. Insight would be able to help her determine, are people actually pleased with her performance, or kind of like what Kraken was talking about with the bartender idea, are people giving her pity tips? History and Arcana, I can see as a wizard how they could resonate, Kraken. Unless you had some backup for it, though. Personally, I'm digging Medicine and Insight for who she is as a person, not just as a wizard. But I'm open-minded. If you want to make a case for them, please do so. Okay. Equipment. We get a quarterstaff or a dagger. A component pouch or an arcane focus. A scholar's pack or an explorer's pack. And a spell book. Whoa! Hey, thank you
for all that entertainment and I forgot to subtitle July, so I am just making sure you get your fair share of the booty. Plus I just really enjoy the channel and can't help myself.
Deagle, thank you so much for the donation. And I'm glad that you're entertained and that, look, that means a lot. I mean, your viewership, your comments, your participation, the fact that, look, Twitch is a big place. You could be anywhere watching anyone else right now, but you're choosing to spend your time here with not just me, but everyone else over in chat. And, I mean, the fact that you were also willing to give $5 is really meaningful. Oh, and Sansfire, you just made your first character earlier today. Well, if you need any help refining it or anything, Sansfire, you're in the right place for it. Let's give her a quarterstaff. She has a lot going on. Well, I don't know. She's an entertainer. She juggles. She breathes fire. Maybe as a wizard, she does have a wizard component spell pack, right? She collects a bunch of little things and she uses those for her magic. Because it's also showmanship, right? That seems to make sense. A component pouch. A scholar's pack, so she can continue to make notes and drawings, come up with schemes and ideas for acts. And a spell book, because of course you are a wizard. Exactly, Flat Hat. Different herbs and spices for the brewing. Which is how we got our the start of this show. We were discussing how alcohol can inspire a great many adventures. Saris, entertainer and wizard, juggling balls which she can throw and return to her. Look, you can do a lot of fun stuff with magic. And something like that, yeah. That was the main point of Arcana. Oh, for an Arcana-based performance? Sure, we can, let's split the difference. So maybe... So we'll give her Arcana. And let's give her Insight. So she can still tell that she's leaving a world a better place and people are happy. Medicine can make sense, but I don't know, maybe the troupe did have a medic if she needed one, or if she's giving an arcane performance, there was never really any threat of injury. So there we go, a happy medium. Thank you for providing that, Kraken. The monk I made somehow had more hit points than the fighter. Deagle says, you built an amazing community both here on Twitch and Discord. It's been a pleasant surprise to find such a fine group of people. Deagle, thank you very much for that sentiment. And in return, I have been so happy to find you all and to have you be a part of my life too. Okay, spellcasting. We're not going to worry about spellcasting right now. Multiclassing does its own thing with spells, and we'll explain it. Don't clench up. Don't worry. Multiclassing isn't difficult. It just requires an extra little bit of thinking. You might have halted the one-word adventure. Well, I don't know. Someone can pick up. We're a creative bunch, Saris. Have faith in us. She casts shield plus mage armor at every performance. Yeah, that could do it too, right? Oh, see, I love characters that are out of the norm like that. Alright, so congratulations. Wizards can cast spells. Wowee, who knew? We're going to come back to that. We are going to get Arcane Recovery, which allows us to cast some more spells after a short rest. We are also going to get our Arcane Tradition, which is our archetype. That's what we get by being just a wizard. Wizards get the majority of their class features through their archetype and by the virtue of their tremendous catalog of spells that they can cast. Abjuration, Conjuration, here we go. We are a Conjuration Savant. Conjuration spells come easier to us. We also get something called Minor Conjuration. And actually, I think Glitchmouse in our Discord was talking about a conjurer that she was piloting a little while ago. Not only can they cast spells, Kraken, they also get to add their proficiency bonus. Nani? Minor Conjuration. You can use your action to conjure up an inanimate object in your hand or on the ground in an unoccupied space that you can see within 10 feet of you. The object can be no larger than 3 feet on a side, weigh no more than 10 pounds, and its form must be that of a non-magical object you have seen. The object is visibly magical, radiating dim light out to 5 feet. The object disappears after an hour when you use this feature again, or if it takes any damage. So yes, she can conjure instruments that she wants to play. Or she can conjure her fire-eating sticks. Hi, Sensefire, honto desu. Benign Transposition. You can swap places with another character. And we got that at 6th level. Now, we're only crafting her up to a level 8. She's a level 12 character. She's only a level 8 wizard. Yeah, turn those lights off. Carry me home. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Kraken, we made a muscle wizard. I think it was the week right before my summer vacation. He was really cool. Muscle wizards are unique. All right, so these are the abilities that we get, and we're going to put down. We're going to put wizard class, druid class, wizard archetype, druid archetype. It's possible, Sansfire. Okay, so, congratulations, we have a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. However, we need to make her a druid also. And this is where we are going to go to Chapter 6 to determine how to multi-class this character. A multi-class. Multi-class. Female dwarf multi-class. Wizard druid multi-class. There are prerequisites to be able to multi-class. To qualify for a new class, you must meet the ability score prerequisites for both your current class and your new one, as shown in the table below. For example, a barbarian who decides to multi-class into the druid class must have both strength and wisdom scores of 13 or higher. Without the full training that a beginning character receives, you must be a quick study in your new class, having a natural aptitude that is reflected by higher than average ability scores. What this means, for a wizard, we have to have at least an intelligence of 13. For a druid, we must have at least a wisdom of 13. So what I'm going to do here, we need to make sure that when we assign stats, that by level 8, which is the latest she could start taking druid spells, or like, because her level 9, 10, 11, 12 would be druid in this conception. You could technically go wizard, wizard, druid, wizard, wizard, druid, wizard, wizard, druid. Buddy, you're a multi-class female mountain dwarf casting spells all day, every day. Saris, I wonder if a character would get infected by a horse with lycanthropy, which the horse got from a werewolf. Would the character get the ability to transform into both the choice and maybe even a hybrid? That is definitely a talk to your DM about that one, Saris, but that's a cool idea, isn't it? Sansfire, now I'm imagining Gandalf with a six-pack punching an orc in the face and say, "Get wrecked, boy." Have you even lifted? Experience points we're not going to worry about. We don't use experience points here. You can. I'm not saying experience points are bad. I prefer milestones myself. Hit points and hit dice. You gain the hit points from your new class as described for levels after first. And the hit dice we're going to get as per a druid. And you know what? You see up here? There are two sides of this spot where we can put hit dice. Normally, we only fill in the one. However, druids over here, druids are you're gonna get your own pool of hit dice for them. Gandalf screaming 420, slams staff into the ground, enemy starts spinning through the area. I may not have power, but I have the natty gains, bro. Proficiency bonus. Your proficiency bonus is based on your total character level. As shown in the character advancement table in Chapter 1, not your level in a particular class. So we will have the proficiency bonus up here of a level 12 character, because we are a level 12 character. We're just not a level 12 wizard or druid. Proficiencies. When you gain a level in a class other than your first, you gain only some of that class's starting proficiencies, as shown in the multiclassing proficiencies table. Alright, we are multiclassing Druid. So this highlighted box here is what we are going to get. We don't get to go to the class section of the PHB and get everything that is a proficiency for a Druid. We only get a little bit because, you know, we're just a little Druish. So we are going to get light and medium armor, shields, and you know what? That's it. Light armor, medium armor, and shields. Druids will not wear armor or use shields made of metal. We might be able to make an exception. Again, you'd pitch it to your DM. I'm sure you could come up with reasons why wearing metal armor could work. So I have a magic quarterstaff that lets me make 3 attacks plus flurry of blows. Kraken, you dead? I've been trying to contact them to work on the bartender. Oh. Dark Wolf, I think, was working on a side project? Unless she just sort of fell asleep at her computer. Or her tablet. That happens time and again. Alright, we don't have to worry about Channel Divinity, because neither of these classes get a channel divinity, nor do they get an extra attack. However, spell casting, ooh, lordy, there's a lot of words here. Don't let your eyes cross. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, only one man would dare give me the raspberry. Lone Star. Hey, Lady Atara, good to see you. Heart to you as well. You determine what spells you know and can prepare for each class individually, as if you were a single-classed member of that class. If you are a Ranger 4 and a Wizard 3, for example, you know 3 first-level Ranger spells based on your levels in the Ranger class. As third-level Wizard, you know 3 Wizard cantrips, and your spellbook contains 10 Wizard spells. 2 of which, the 2 you gained when you reached 3rd level as a Wizard, can be 2nd level spells. And it gets in... Alright. Our spell casting will come when we start determining our stats. Don't let all of this stuff scare you. Running a multi-class character is not as difficult as it may seem. And our spell slots are going to be full. I mean, we'll be able to cast high-level magic by being a druid and a wizard. And we're also going to have to determine 3 feats for her, because she didn't take any ability score bumps. No, it was just wisdom. All right. Now we're going to go back to Druid. Druids are a D8 hit die class. So we're going to come up here, and because we're 4 levels of Druid, 4 D8. Okay? Still with me? Proficiencies. We already have our proficiencies. The multi-class table in Chapter 6 gave us what we get. So everything that's blue here, I'll get out of the way. Everything that's blue here, forget about it. We already got our armor proficiency and our shield. That's what we needed. You don't get the skills because that's a part of proficiency, and unless your DM says otherwise, you don't get the starting equipment because you didn't start as a druid. You do get to learn Druidic, because that's not a proficiency. That's what you get by virtue of being a druid. We get spellcasting. Yay! Okay, hang on. We'll get to spellcasting in a little bit. We got to get some stats first. We do get Wild Shape. And we can Wild Shape twice a day. Wild Shape as a druid has its own section, right? It starts here and it continues over here. It may seem complicated. It's not as complicated as you may think. There are just some limitations or explanations on what you can and cannot do in animal form that help clarify actions and make things smoother. We are going to get a druid circle at level 2, because look, the next druid ability actually. So the druid class doesn't. Next druid class isn't going to give us anything really, except Wild Shape, but we put that right down here. The next Druid ability per class is Timeless Body at 18, and we're not going to reach that. Circle of the Land. We're not Circle of the Land. That's a spellcasting Druid. Let's go over to Circle of the Moon. We get Combat Wild Shape. We can use spells to cure ourselves. And we get Circle Forms. Meaning that because we're concentrating on shape changing, we can turn into bigger and better animals and things quicker than a Circle of the Land Druid could. Because they're spending their time casting spells. Hey, nice Sandsfire. Dark Wolf, if you're out there, can you please give Sandsfire 75 experience points for defeating the Wolf Spider? And Primal Strike. Well, Primal Strike is for 6th level druids. We are only a 4th level druid despite being a 12th level character. And I'm repeating this to make sure that we're sinking it in. Your class level may be different from your character level. So this is what we get from our druid archetype. Thank you, Dark Wolf. As a 12th level character, our proficiency bonus is +4. Because your proficiency is based on your total sum of all your parts. All right, congratulations. Spell slots can be weird, but our spell slots for a wizard druid aren't going to be. And we'll get to why. But first things first, let's give her some feats. The first two we would gain while being a wizard, and the third one we would gain for being a druid, okay? The reason I want to give her these feats first is because feats can help explain who a character is and how they operate, but some feats may also allow you to bump up a stat of some kind. Actually, you know what? Let's give her the base stats up here first, I think. And then we can tweak them from there. She needs at least an intelligence and wisdom of 13. So if we give her maybe... What if we do this? 15. 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. Bobicus, you think 15 int, 14 whiz? Hey, Caboose, it's been a while. Good to see you again. So, in any of these cases, we've met the prerequisite to multiclass into a druid. So we don't have to worry about these anymore. Bobicus, you're good with this choice here? Because, you know what? Her feats can pop things up. And remember, she's going to get any stat bumps from her feats, because all 3 of them have been chosen as feats and not ability score improvements. So if we add in her racial bonus, that's going to give her a 14 con, so she's a tough cookie. And there we go. So now, here in feats, let's give her some special abilities. There was a suggestion. Bobicus thinks that the Magic Initiate and Linguist would be good for her. And maybe Spell Sniper. 12 decks need for higher stage stuff. So you wanted to switch decks and then Con, like that. We can do that. Hey, Pi, good to see you. Look, Pi, we don't talk about the we don't talk about the lavender incident of 18. That lavender. Hey, does this... Oh, hey, Party Hat Bam. Thank you very much for the host. Does this smell like lavender to you? Actually, here. Does my mustache wax smell like lavender to you? But I figure Magic Initiate to represent a sort of adventurous learner trying to learn all things about every sort of magic. Session 0 was a lot of fun. It should be saved as a VOD if you wanted to watch it, Sansfire. Caboose, you waxed your mustache once? Jeez, it took days to get it all out. Well, this one has a lovely lavender smell to it. And actually, it's a lighter wax, too. It wasn't too heavy and it didn't cake. Because you apply it kind of like chapstick, right? I'm not applying it. I'm for demonstration purposes. So if we do Magic Initiate... if we do Magic Initiate up here, choose a class: Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, Warlocks, or Wizard. You learn 2 cantrips of your choice. What, Bobicus, what would you see her dabbling in? Right? If she's a Wizard already, and we know she's going to dabble in Druid, do you see her, if we give her Magic Initiate, do you see her dabbling in something else? Or do you want to use that to reinforce... Like, does she take that as a wizard, and that's what led her to become a full... or not a full, but a partial druid also? Probably Bard. Hey, Nanav, good to see you. Guten Morgen to you. Bard? Okay. So, Magic Initiate. Lavender's fine on my girlfriend, but not so much on me. Alright, we learned 2 cantrips of our choice from that class's spell list. So we're going to come down here, and we're going to get Magic Initiate Bard. Magic Initiate Bard for our 2 cantrips. In addition, choose 1 first-level spell from that same list. You learn the spell and can cast it at its lowest level. Once you cast it, you must finish a long rest before... Okay. So, 1 per long rest. Magic Initiate. Bard. Something. Your spellcasting ability depends on the class you choose. Charisma for Bard, etc. Okay. So, there is one of her feats, is Magic Initiate. Another one that was suggested, you mentioned Linguist. Would she take Linguist because of her entertainer background so she could perform in a lot of different places? What was your thoughts behind her taking Linguist? Here, I'll go over that real quick so people can read it. Lady, thank you for the bit. Linguist allows us to learn 3 additional languages, and you have the ability to create written ciphers. Others can't decipher your code you create unless you teach them. Tavern Brawler, sometimes crowds don't like your show and they want their money back. That well, that's when you just turn into a bear. Fluffy Sheep, it goes with the entertainer background, at least. Maybe story flavor. She was introduced to magic via bard powers, but was never quite able to learn it, so studied wizard and druid instead. Oh, okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Fluffy Sheep. Aw, thank you, lady. You suggested Linguist for the int bump and the perpetual learner feel? Sure. Linguist would bump her intelligence to a 16 and give her 3 more languages and a cipher. So now what we can look at here too, if we want, we can swap wisdom if we really want to give her that extra little oomph, and for charisma down here, because that could open up some extra feats if we do it that way. Plus her performance is there, but if her performance is also accented by magic, then what we might be able to do is get advantage rolls from our DM for accenting our natural performance with our magic very subtly. And so this is, yes, we have 1 less as a modifier to it, but if you roll at advantage, that's mathematically a +5 to your roll. But we get 1 more feat now. We're a magic initiate bard, a linguist, and something. What is a feat that we took as we were a? Oh, take the actor feat, Bobicus. Increase your charisma by 1. You have advantage on deception and performance when trying to pass yourself off as a different person. You can mimic the speech of another person or the sounds made by their creatures. We could do that. She is an actor after all. Increases her charisma. And this is going to give her advantages down here as well. Sounds made by other creatures might be how she got into Druidry. Oh, yeah. Yeah, lady, if you're prompted with advantage or disadvantage, make sure that you hit exclamation point 2d20. However, because you already rolled 1d20, well, I guess in this case, because they're both 6s, 6 would have been your second roll anyway. So, Lady Atara, you did something kind of special. When people roll 2d6, as a fun theme in the channel, we say that a wild magic effect has occurred. So now I want you to type in exclamation point 1d100, and we're going to consult the wild magic chart and find out what happens as you're combating this warg. And unfortunately, you're going to get eaten by it. But let's see if you go out in style. Yeah, you rolled doubles. You rolled 6 and 6. So now I want you to roll 1d100. "21. Lady Atara, as you're battling the warg, and it's looking really dire, with the the reserves of energy you have left before either you're going to win or lose. This is what happens on a 21. Creatures have disadvantage on saving throws against the next spell you cast in the next minute that involves a saving throw. And just as you say, aha, I have the upper hand against any future spells, the warg takes you down. Kraken, I know this. I played a wild mage in my last game. Not by heart, but obviously, but yeah. Alright, so now we have our stats. Granted by our feats and our race. Now we can go here. Strength is 0, Dex is 1, Con is 1, Int is 3, Wisdom is 2, Charisma is 2. We have a very well-rounded dwarf. Aren't all dwarves, I guess? But we have a very well-rounded dwarf. Let's go back to chapter 6. By the way, she has a name now. She's not just a pile of stats. Saving throw is 0. Athletics is 0. Saving throw is 1. Sleight of hand and stealth. However, acrobatics is 5. Con save is 1. Intelligence saving throw is 7. Arcana is 7. With 3s and everything else. Wisdom is going to be a 6 save. 6 insight. 2 everything else. And finally, charisma's 2s down the board, except performance, which is going to be a 6. Lady Atara asks for a res, please. You're dead, but not for long. When the spell ends, you arise to find yourself as a male half-elf barbarian. Seems good. She got cursed by killing a unicorn by wild magic lightning. And wild magic itself spawned the unicorn. Oh, cruel fate. Her passive perception is going to be 12, as that's 10 plus your perception modifier, and reflects the natural awareness you have of what's going on around you. We can also fill in some other stats here. Initiative is simply a dexterity check, so she has a +1 on that. Her armor class, unless we give her light or medium armor or a shield, as a wizard, you don't start with any of that. So your natural AC is 10 plus dexterity. So in this case, her armor class is 11, unless we want to drop some equipment on her. Hit points. Okay. Here we go. Hit points. She started as a wizard. You get your full hit die worth of hit points at level 1. For levels for levels 2 and beyond in that class, so therefore 7, right? She's an 8th level wizard. I suggest going half +1 hit points from your hit die. In other words, this is going to be 4, right? Half of 6 is 3, +1 is 4. Now, for her druid side, you don't get the level 1 full starting, because these are levels on top of first level. Thereby, all 4 of her druid levels are going to be half +1 of her druid hit die. A druid hit die is a d8, meaning that she is going to get 4 levels of 5 hit points from being a druid. They're a little beefier. Then, for all of your levels as a character, your character level, therefore 12, all 12 of her levels, you get bonus hit points based on your constitution modifier. In this case, that's 1. So if we do this, There's our formula for determining her total hit points. So we have 20 plus 12. So we have 32. And this is 28. So she has 66 hit points. Hey, King. Oh, you just missed a wild magic effect. Lady Atara rolled double sixes, and it didn't save her against the warg that kind of leapt on her and tore her throat out. And then she revs back as a male half-elf barbarian. Fluffy, yes. The mountain dwarf did give her medium armor, but so did her druid class, too. The effect, she rolled 21 on the chart. Well, of course, dwarves listen to rock music. No, real dwarves listen to metal. All right, now we have come down to the spells for both classes and where they come together in multiclassing. Don't let this be intimidating. We saved it for last because, in all honesty, if she was a pure wizard, I would save this for last as well, okay? Uh-oh. Even if there was a mistake, King, we're down. Yep, King, you did. Our PG-13 rating is hanging by one more mistake. All right, you determine what spells you know and can prepare for each class individually. So we come down here, right? Spellcasting class. Wizard. Druid. Wizards can prepare a number of spells equal to their wizard level plus their intelligence modifier. She is 8 levels of wizard, plus intelligence is 11. Druids, I believe, are the same, although I'm going to double check just to be sure. I know for a fact that wizards are. Preparing a number of druid spells equal to your wisdom modifier plus your druid level. Okay, so her druid level is 4 plus her wisdom modifier of 2. So prepare 6. Let's go back to wizard. Wizards get 3 cantrips. Wizard 1. Two, 3. That's at level 1. By level 8, we actually know 4 cantrips. 2, 3, 4. In our spell book, we also get 6 level 1 spells. for every level after 1, we get 2 free spells to transcribe into our spell book. Now, wizards can acquire an unlimited number of spells over time, but guaranteed for sure, when we level up, we're going to get our 2 spells per level. So if we come down here, at level 2, here's our 2 spells, and as you can see, we can't cast second level spells yet. However, at level 3 wizard, we can have the option of taking up to 2 second level spells, or go 1 and 1, or if you really love first level spells, you can have your both your level 3 spells in a lower level spell slot. But let's kind of ride the edge to show you how this works. Okay, there we go. This is what we get by virtue of being a wizard when it comes to spells. Now, let's go over to Druid. A 4th level Druid knows 3 cantrips. So actually, because of our Magic Initiate here, we're almost going to have to condense this down. She can do a lot of magic, huh? Okay, cantrips known. 4th level Druid, right? And Druids aren't the same as wizards. Druids know every Druid spell that exists. They can only prepare a certain number from the expansive list equal to their level plus their wisdom modifier. Whereas a wizard has a lot, not every wizard spell, but a lot of spells to choose from. And from their spells known, in this case, this character can prepare 11 spells from all the wizard spells that she has. So in this case, if we can prepare 6 druid spells, that's really up to us. Every time we wake up and we prepare our druid spells, where do you want to put them? Do you want your druid spells to be only the higher level spell slots? Do you want to stretch them out and give some support? So maybe we go, so we just go Druid. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I don't know, maybe 5 and 6, because you can always cast up. You can do that, and so here things are prepared. Edu Bortolini, welcome. Unfortunately, I'm not fluent in that language, so I can't really respond to you too well. Fox, is your spider raccoon going to be in a future D&D? Possibly. We can work it in some way, I'm sure. Now, lastly, let's determine our spell slots. You determine your available spell slots by adding together all your levels in Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, and Wizard. Half rounded down for Paladin and Ranger, and a third of your Fighter or Rogue levels rounded down. If you have Eldritch Knight or Arcane Trickster. Use this total to determine your spell slots by consulting the Multiclass Spellcaster table. Now, because Wizards and Druids are both full spellcasters, this is the same chart that you see in Wizard and in Druid. So when we go and we add our spell slots here, we are a 12th level character, meaning this is what we get. 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, and 1. Now you'll notice that we do have spell slots higher than the spells that we can cast. However, you don't know any 3rd level spells, nor do you know any 2nd level ranger spells. You can use the spell slots of those levels to cast spells you do know and potentially enhance their effects. So you may not have any 5th or 6th level magic, but you have the potential to ramp up your lower level magic through your increased capacity to cast. I hope that makes sense. Four, 3, 3, 3, 2, and 1. To determine your attack with a particular type of magic, if we're going Wizard Druid, so the number on the left will be Wizard, the number on the right will be Druid. Wizards attack off of intelligence, and they're proficient with their spells. So for Wizard spells, we're going to be rolling a +7. However, for Druid spells, we're going to be rolling a +6. To determine the save DC for those spells, simply add 8 to your attack. So therefore, it's going to be a 15 to save against our Wizard spells and a 14 to save against our Druid spells. For any melee weapons, for instance, a quarterstaff that we wield, that is a strength-based weapon, so 0 plus proficiency. We're going to be bonking with a +4. And a quarterstaff is 1d6, in this case +0. No bonus damage because we have a 0 modifier for our strength. However, a quarterstaff is versatile, and if we use both hands, we can get a D8 instead of a D6 out of it. And here's the list of the weapons that she can wield. As a wizard or a druid, she can actually use hammers and axes and all this other stuff. So you can make her very interesting. Hi, Spillheart. Dark Wolf, Atatanuk are like wolf spiders, but instead of jumping at prey, they jump in your coin purse and steal copper pieces. They chew on the copper and make copper silk from it. Huh, that's interesting. So they actually, their webs are wire. Sorry about quitting earlier. What do you mean that you quit earlier? Okay. Well, she needs a name, and to fill in her, you know, any spells or whatnot that we want to give her. But I think that we made a really neat character here, and I hope that this was a good demonstration in how you can multi-class. There we go. We did it.